Hello, my diamond cutter jawed baddies. How you doing today? Good. We're back with the second camera because you guys said that you like it, so I'm gonna keep it for now anyway. Also, got my nails done by myself. These are from Amazon again. I ripped my other ones off violently, so I got some new ones. Put them on. I feel dainty. I feel girly. So let's get to Reddit. My 23 female boyfriend, 23 male of 1 year is bad at everything and it's making me lose respect for him. I'm sensing this is just an ick. Okay, so I'm going crazy in my head here because I don't know if I'm just the world's hugest bitch or what. Basically, my boyfriend, let's call him Steve, love the name choice, is just not good at doing anything. Oh no. Wait, that's not true. He's good at outdoorsy stuff, and it's apparently pretty good at his job in catering. Aside from that, question mark. For example, I feel like I can't do anything with him that involves any skill or is even slightly competitive because 1, he's a sore loser. Okay. There's not being good at something and then there's being a sore loser, and those two don't go together. 2, he never wins. When I stayed with his family over Christmas, they had a Scrabble board, and because it was snowy and boring, of course I tried to pass the time playing Scrabble with him. And I'm not even a good Scrabble player, and I still crushed him every game. And eventually, after a few, I just couldn't play anymore. I had to spend like 10 minutes after every game making him feel better about himself. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Oh, man. Like he's a 3-year-old. All right, I'm gonna keep reading. Sorry, I'm taking a moment. All right, it's like one thing not to be good at something, whatever. But then it's another thing to be like mentally stimulated by your partner or whatever. And I feel like it's going in this direction. And then it's also being a sore loser in a way that's just icky is just, it's stacking up, okay? I'm saying I understand. After giving up on Scrabble, we switched to playing Sorry. We had to stop that too, because I couldn't handle the mental toll of continuously beating him at Sorry. It's awesome. I love Sorry. Don't make fun of the way I say sorry, by the way. My editor's also from Canada, and we will not take that slander, all right? Another time, we went to a board game night with some friends, and he couldn't understand the rules for most of the board games, and afterwards vented to me about how stupid the games were, and why there was no point having rules so complicated so no one could grasp them. He was the only one who couldn't grasp them. Oh no. There's just a little gap with you guys, I guess. He just is really, it sounds like he's just really not good at board games. Other times we'd play casual stuff like air hockey or foosball, which I didn't think even required any strategy other than spinning the little plastic dudes really fast, and he'd still lose every time and get upset about it. Okay, so it's not just board games. I don't care about winning. I just want to have fun, and it feels like it's impossible to have fun because playing anything with him feels like playing against a goddamn 5-year-old. Yeah, and it sounds like this is a big part of your life maybe, so I don't know. There's more though. But wait, this thread isn't entitled "My boyfriend is terrible at games," so here's some other stuff. Because this I'm like, I feel like you could let that go if he's just not good at games. Some people aren't good at games, and that's fine. But we're getting into the weeds here now. His internet stopped working a while back, so he called me and I told him to use his mobile data to download the troubleshooting manual for his router and see if he could fix it. He didn't manage, so I went to his place later and found he downloaded the manual for the wrong router. It wasn't even for the right brand. I ended up fixing his problem, and then he ranted to me about how all these router manufacturers make their manuals so hard to use, like there's some sort of deliberate conspiracy to keep everyone in perpetual confusion unless they're a genius. I'm not a genius. I'm just capable of following simple written instructions. Oh no. Also, he wants to go back to school to do his master's degree, but he needs to do some prereqs, including math unit, where he's struggling with a lot of material. But as far as I can tell, it's all stuff he learned in high school. Okay, I can't say shit about math. I can barely do my times tables, all right? Lately, he's been posting Facebook updates about how hard it is to learn, well, the fact that I can't say it, I guess I'm this guy. Logarithms? The fuck is that? My school covered logarithms in grade 9, and even though I can't remember how to do them off the top of my head, I don't recall them being particularly hard at the time. And aside from that, I'm getting tired of being expected to be sympathetic when increasingly I just want to yell, well, maybe if you weren't such a dumbass, but if I hint that maybe he should be able to deal with his own emotions. Example, honey, I know you couldn't get the pizza dough the shape you wanted, but it's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, right? I get accused of being unsympathetic to his feelings. Well, what about my feelings that I don't want constant rolling coverage of every tiny thing that bothers you? Oh no, I think you guys just aren't matched well. I think there is somebody that can match well with this person, but I think you just need somebody that's a bit jack of all tradey, just like really smart, kind of just knows how to do things, and if he doesn't know how to do things, he's like able to, he just wants to learn how to do them, that kind of thing. Like, I think you need that. I mean, I know I do. That's Caleb. He's just like, he'll figure it out. If he doesn't know how to do it, he'll figure it out. He's not afraid to ask for help, but he's just really smart. He's just really smart. And you know what? Some people just need that. But I, on the other hand, kind of like Steve, I think. But he's also an incredibly sweet, hardworking person who treats me well, and his boss and coworkers all say he doesn't just work hard, but is actually really competent at his job, and he did pretty well in high school, and he's lived on his own since he was 16 and kept himself alive the whole time, and no one else has ever said or hinted to me, gee, your boyfriend is kind of a dumbass, so what the fuck? Is it me? Am I the crazy one? Am I a bitch? Okay, that's all interesting, because you know, I mean, some people are just really, really good at like a couple of things, and then they're just kind of lacking in other things like that. I think that's kind of me. And maybe just because the Scrabble and the games and simple little things, I think you're so sensitive to it now that it bothers you a lot, and that's okay. And also the sore losing and kind of being a little bit childish, I think it's fair to be like, I don't like that. Like, you're acting like a child and you're a 23-year-old man. I think you both are, like, I understand both sides, you know? I'm not saying Steve's a dumbass. I think he's really smart at what he does in his job and all that kind of stuff, but I think Steve might need to learn how the world works and how, you know, not everything can be catered to him and stuff, and maybe he should, you know, try like some simple problem solving from time to time. Let me know what you think. There's an update and it's 2 months later. I just want to read that, so let's get into it. I'll save you some scrolling. We broke up. And you know, I think that was best. Based off of how you're talking about it, if you're not enjoying your time with him, and if you're constantly finding things that bother you about him, you guys shouldn't be together. Some more background. My ex graduated with a degree in biomedicine last year, but never actually looked for work in his field, as far as I know. This didn't strike me as a problem at first, since he's always taken care of himself just fine, and he never seemed that enthusiastic about his degree anyway. Okay, biomedicine, this guy's fucking smart. I spent several years after high school working odd jobs while I figured out what to do with my life, most of the way through nursing school now. So who am I to judge, right? But gradually, I just got more and more of a sinking feeling about things, mostly because he kept talking about how he wanted to get his PhD and become a professor. And I felt professorship was a pretty optimistic goal for even the most brilliant of students. But how do you tell your boyfriend you think their dreams are wildly unrealistic? So he decided he was going back for his master's. Cool. So he has drive. He's getting degrees left and right. He's getting his master's, you know. After I posted the original thread, I realized I'd never really spoken to him about his negativity while we were both calm. So I sat him down one day and told him that while I was always going to be there for him in times of real distress, I couldn't take all this complaining anymore about his coworkers, about my housemates, about his housemates, about losing at games, about the train system, about math, about art majors. Apparently, they all work at Starbucks. The one time I pointed out the irony of this, he went real quiet and later told me I really hurt his feelings and to not strike such low blows in the future. Guess I missed a hell of a red flag. Yeah, maybe he's just a sensitive fellow and you're just like a no-nonsense girly, and maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to see it from both sides, and I'm trying to be like, I don't know, you're like, I don't like your dreams, what you say stupid, all this stuff. I think you guys just aren't matched, but I'm just gonna keep reading. I told him it was exhausting to constantly have to attend to one crisis or the other, and that perhaps he could benefit from seeing a therapist. In addition to everything else, he's also had depression on and off, and I figured it was a good chance to learn better coping skills. I mean, God, at the end of most days, it's just, you know, bitching about the day and about people and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like you have to be able to unload on your partner to a certain degree. Maybe he's just doing it constantly and it's like, we're never talking about anything positive. So I don't know. I'm going to keep reading. I keep pausing, but I don't know. I just got to keep reading. Let me know what you guys think so far. Well, that didn't go over well at all. He immediately accused me of not caring about his feelings and that he should be able to say whatever he wanted to me, and psychologists just want to give you happy pills to make you think like everyone else. When I told him psychologists aren't licensed to prescribe medication, he went silent for a while and said, it doesn't matter. They still just want to convince you it's fine to be a loser and everything's okay with you. I asked him if he thought he was a loser, and he said he doesn't doesn't think he's a loser. He just thinks it's important to stay aware of your flaws and punish yourself when you mess up, which is why he runs so much. What? At this point, I end the conversation because I don't know what the fuck to say. Yeah, it sounds like he really doesn't have a great outlet. Like he's punishing himself by running. That makes me sad a little bit. I mean, you know, exercise can be very therapeutic and stuff. Maybe this is just like a dude thing. Push your feelings down and just run, dude. I don't know. The other thing that had been bothering me progressively more is that he's currently taking units so he can start his master's next semester. But it struck me as kind of weird that he had to take math and science prereqs considering he already had a degree in biomedicine. I'm pretty sure he graduated. He has a photo of himself in a gown on Facebook, but every time I tried to ask, he'd hand wave it away like he was hiding something. Of all the problems in a relationship, this was the only one that made me feel like I might be nuts because for all I know, there was perfectly simple explanation, but why the evasiveness? Anyway, reading back everything I wrote feels super weird because there's a lot of crazy shit and it's like, well, sure, that happened, but it wasn't like that. But maybe it was. After my failed attempt at talking, I felt like a giant dumbass for not realizing the relationship was doomed from the start. But I was dreading actually breaking up with him until the boat ride. Oh, crap, what happened on the boat? So in my town, there's a few places you can hire a little sailboat for an hour and sail around on the water in the summer. Fun couples activities, right? I'm guessing it's wrong. We'll see. Before the horrible talk, we'd made plans to do this, and he didn't know I was going to break up with him, and I was still clinging to hope of fixing our relationship, so we went sailing. Love that. All went well for about 10 minutes until we had to turn the boat, and of course, turning a sailboat can be tricky if you've never done it before. Absolutely. Hey, sailing is not for the weak, dude, okay? As we're trying and failing to turn the boat, I can see him getting more and more agitated and try to lighten the mood by joking about our struggles, and he replies with something like, oh, sure, it's fine to be shitty at things. Who needs standards? And I should have known not to expect to be good at sailing. Yeah, it's just like, dude, why are you always the victim? What the fuck? Like, when you're doing something fun, and yeah, things can get frustrating. I'm a pretty positive person most of the time, especially in like the worst situations. I'm like, what are you gonna do? You know, I tell him there's no reason he needs to be good at something. We're just doing it for fun and to just try to enjoy the activity. Something that I'm sick of saying and he's evidently sick of hearing because it sets him off on one of his rants about how he can't do anything right and people who don't care how well they do are dumbasses. Everyone is a dumbass. I just want him to be happy with being a dumbass. The boat is stupid. Sailboats are stupid. Our town is unreasonably windy, etc. Okay, I'm back on board. I'm back on the boat with you, okay? I'm trying to play devil's advocate because it's just me in this room, okay? It's just me. I have to figure it out on my own. After that, he's too upset to talk and snaps at me every time I ask him to hold a rope or whatever, all because he had trouble turning a fucking hire boat. So I turned to him, yelled, "You're dumped," jumped into the water and swam back to shore. Okay, I was like, that's crazy. Just kidding. I only did that in my imagination. I broke up with him a couple days later. You're funny. Okay, well, I don't really have any notes. I think it is so best that you guys just aren't together. I think it's best that you guys aren't together. I think he needs to just kind of learn how to accept things as they come, maybe learn how to have a little bit more fun, not to take things so seriously, not to make himself the victim all the time. I think genuinely he could probably benefit from talking to a unbiased third party. You jumped off the boat and I think you're all right to do that, honestly. What do you guys think? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just a stupid YouTuber. What do I know? I'm gonna read some comments though. I think the OP missed the point in the title. There are many lovely people out there who suck at a whole lot of things. It's me, but can bring a lot of joy and emotional support to someone's life. And you, except you're good at way more things than me. I know it. And there are many self-sufficient, wear the pants people, both men and women, who can work with that. But this guy just sounds miserable to be around. That's kind of what I'm picking up. It's not a skill issue. Is that what the kids say? Like, ooh, skill issue or something? I don't know. I have no idea. It's not a skill issue. It's a emotionally mature issue, I think. Sucking at things and being self-aware and playing to your strengths can work. Sucking and burying your head in the sand and making it everyone else's problem because you're a child is the issue. Totally. That's an ick for me, Bond. That's an ick for me. Yeah, another comment says, like, who the expects to be good at sailing the first time they try it? This dude seems like he never learned that people need to practice things to get good at them. When I try something new, I'm like, I really want to be good at it immediately, and if I'm not, I'm like, do I keep doing this? Like, I don't want to keep doing this, but I'm not complaining to other people. I'm just like by myself doing stuff, you know? Yeah, and pretty much all the comments say the same thing. I think this guy just needs to learn how to just relax, have some fun and just like not take things so seriously, you know? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let's move on to the next one. My 30 male wife, 28 female, and I agreed to name our baby. Then I learned that it's her ex. What? Why? I'm in a weird situation and need to know if I'm overreacting. My wife, Emma, has always said she loved the name Johnny for a boy. It's been the name she wanted if we had a son from well before we were expecting. So when things got real, I agreed happily because I liked it too, and clearly it meant a lot to her. That's so weird. We've already told both our families and they're all excited about baby Johnny. Here's where it gets complicated. I was looking at her story 2 days ago and she reshared a memory of a pic I thought was of her and her best friend named John O. It's one of my fave pics of her and I even put it in a wedding slideshow I'd made. I brought it up last night because I had heard the origins of the pics before but forgotten. I said where was the pic with John O? The fact that it's John O and he's just like Johnny and John O aren't the same thing. What was the context basically? She corrected me that it wasn't John O, but Johnny, and that's when it hit me. We're naming our baby after her ex. Why do you love the photo of her and her ex? I mean, good for you for being a confident king and just being fine with that, but like, just thinking like you thought a human being's name was John O, and then even if it was John O, not thinking that like she's naming it, or like you'd like, oh, isn't that your ex's name? Like his name is John and the kid's name is John. I don't know. I'm being stupid. Let's just keep reading. To be clear, she's never hidden this relationship from me, and I knew she dated Johnny briefly in college. But in my head, I'd somehow completely separated that from the baby name. She had a 3-year relationship with someone after college and dated a few others before me. So Johnny wasn't even close to being her most significant ex by that time. But now I can't unsee it. Every time I hear about Johnny, our baby, I'm thinking about this freaking guy. There's just an innocent world where she just likes the name. Like Johnny's a cute name. It's like, oh, I just like the name Johnny, and yeah, I had next name Johnny. I'm not thinking anything of it. It's just a cute name. But I also think it's plenty fair that you feel weird about that. I didn't really get into it immediately after making the revelation, but brought it up later again. Okay, this will be telling how she reacts, okay? She said that the name had nothing to do with her ex. She clarified that I had forgotten that the relationship was only 10 months and that truly it was just a superficial coincidence. She also said she assumed it was no big deal because I had put the picture in the wedding slideshow and now we were in too deep. Is it on the birth certificate? Is he born? I don't think so. She wasn't overly firm about it, but kind of wrapped up on. Plus, you already agreed, like a lot. Not for nothing. Things have been embroidered or whatever. The name is on stuff already and the baby is due in 2 months. Dude, this is gonna be your child's name. Who gives a shit about embroidery? I mean, I know embroideries, that's really cute and stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss. I'm hoping it won't bother me much as more time goes on, but it's just hard to look past. Advice? I think it's a very fair thing to be like, I don't feel totally comfortable naming our son after your ex. Even if it is like, and she may well just feel like, I just really like the name. But I feel like you really gotta take your partner's feelings into consideration, especially if you're bringing a human being into the world and need to agree and compromise on things, you know? To be good parents. That's how I feel. Let's read the comments though, because maybe I'm crazy. Hell no. My husband dates lots of pretty named girls, but I would never choose one for my baby. Yeah, okay, fair, okay. Glad. I was like, am I crazy? Am I the crazy one? Because sometimes I am. Sometimes I do be crazy, okay? If my man was the least uncomfortable with what we were naming our kid, then we would choose a new name. Yeah, because newsflash, there's like a billion, if not, like, there's so many names. You could make up a name even. Maybe don't do that. But you know, you could, there could be anything. It's kind of weird that you won't budge on it at all. Like, I get being just really loving a name and just being so set on it forever. But then stuff comes up where you're just like, oh, yeah, okay, that's fair. You're gonna think about her ex when you see your kid. The rest of your life, don't do it. Yeah. Pretty much. Are you kidding me? His username is Johnny John No #2. That's funny, Johnny John, no. Let me know what you guys think though. Would you be like super chill with that, or you're just like, no, what? Because that's what I'm kind of feeling. Let's do one more. Me, 34, female, with my fiance, 34, male, living together for 1 month. Am I too petty? Or should I seriously consider ending it? I have never posted in relationships before and not using a throwaway because my fiance doesn't Reddit. Little do you know, I bet he does and he just does it in secret. Anyway, I met Brad 6 months ago. I was living out of state and he was visiting. We met and everything was awesome. We laughed. Spicy time was amazing. We had fun. We continued to see each other for 6 months. We lived about 3 hours apart, so while it was long distance, it wasn't horrible to see each other on a regular basis. Over the 6 months, we spent a lot of time together. We would spend up to 10 days at a time together. After 6 months, I was sure he and I would be together for a very long time. Just a long time. Brad asked me to marry him, and I said yes. 6 weeks ago, Brad asked me to move in with him. Since then, shit has gone downhill for me and fast. This is why I and so many others recommend living with somebody before marrying them. Brad is a goddamn slob. We're talking find dishes that have been sitting around for days, hidden kind of slob. Oh no, I literally spent 3 days cleaning when I got to his apartment. Side note, I had spent time here before this, 4 days at a time, usually about 2 and 4 months in, but he typically came to my place. Before, when I had visited, I did not notice anything horrific about the place. The only thing I can come up with is he had a maid service clean before I visited. I don't mind cleaning, but I work odd hours and can't keep up on my own. I've said this to him, and he always says, "Oh, I'll help." Never does. I do 100% of the cleaning, with the exception of him loading a dishwasher 3 times and running it. Oh, and once he walked with me to the laundromat. Why are we raising useless men? Why are we raising useless men? I blame his parents, but he's a grown man, so he needs to learn how to do that. How old is he? He's in his 30s? God, he's 34. What are you doing, brother? Which brings me to the next topic. He played down these health issues the entire time I've known him, until about a week ago when SHTF, because I don't know what SHTF means. I can't be bothered. He has zero self-control about eating and is diabetic. Yes, I knew he took pills for this, but when he binge eats at night after I go to sleep, there is no way I can help him with that. Plus, he's a goddamn adult. He needs to show self-control. It's not my job to be his diet coordinator, nor to be the food police. You gotta like support each other and help each other out, but yeah, if you can, like, he's not willing to help himself, he's not willing to take care of himself, his surroundings, or get help or anything like that, or work on himself, and you are expecting that, or that that's the type of person you are, then maybe you're just not a good match, you know? The real issue with that is I feel I was lied to in a way. He said he didn't want to show me how not normal he is. There's other things too, minor things, but I feel they are building into not so minor things. Yeah, it's usually just stacks. It just stacks. He's got 0 table manners. We're talking can't eat without sticking your whole damn hand in your mouth like some caveman. Bad kind of manners. I've mentioned this to him. He said, "Oh, I'll try." He's completely OCD about our budget. It's not even like we're struggling. He just makes budgets, remakes budgets, lectures me about budgets. He needs to put that effort he's putting into the budget into cleaning up and learning how to eat with a fork. He smells. Oh no. This is getting bad. It's already bad, but it's getting worse. I don't know what it is, but a lot of the time he just smells off. I don't know if this is due to his health issues, but I never noticed it prior to living with him. He also farts a lot. He makes no attempt to excuse himself when he does this. This is a level of comfort I'm not okay with. He does it in his sleep, sometimes so loud, it wakes me. Okay, well, that's not something he can control if he's sleeping. But if it's on a regular basis while you guys are just in the house and you're not cool with it, it's just sounding more and more like you guys are not remotely compatible at all. He needs his perfect companion would be like a raccoon maybe or something. Just kidding. Sleep has never been easy with him. This I knew going into it. It's never really worked sleeping together for me. Brad snores loudly. He sleeps in the middle of the bed. He tries to take my pillow. I haven't had a good night's sleep in 6 friggin' weeks. He constantly asks me if things are okay. He says I'm sorry for every goddamn thing. He basically is driving me insane slowly. I was alone for a year to this prior, and I don't know if this is normal adjustment period or if I should call it quits now. I love him, but find myself slowly resenting him for these things. Am I just being a picky bitch? Or are these things red flags that I should cut my losses? No, I say this every time. You can break up with somebody for any reason, okay? And you just listed like 10 pretty valid reasons. And I know he's saying sorry and all this stuff, but he's got habits that he's seemingly not willing to work on, mostly like the just not cleaning after himself and just like not respecting you with or just not his hygiene and that kind of thing, and his habits because of his health issues, and he's not seeming like he's not willing to get help. And you want to be around with him for as long as possible if you love him, so it's hard to be sympathetic towards somebody that just doesn't want to help themselves. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, and this is the start. You guys aren't even married yet. This will be the rest of your life, so I think taking that into consideration is absolutely something you should do. If you think, you know what, I'm gonna work with him every day die and we are gonna like do this together. We're gonna be a team. But he needs to be willing to do that too. And if he's not, then I think you're shit out of luck. I think you'd be best to just leave. But edit for context. Since so many people are saying this, yes, I have brought up each and every issue with him. I assume she had. Some of them several times. I obviously don't want him to die. And I told him I was super concerned for his health, ignoring the fact that he basically lied about it or downplayed it for almost 7 months. I find it odd that more people have an issue with me calling him a slob than that fact. No, I mean, when you're living in it, it's just a whole different thing than people just reading it online. Like, for someone to not be upfront about health issues or that type of thing until you're living with them feels a little icky, because you want to be willing, you'd be willing to help them, obviously, or like be a support system, but when they're being dishonest about it, it's like, okay, what else? What's under the rug? Like, what's going on? Also, yes, there is a lot of good. He is loving and kind. He does an excellent job at his work and could easily support us financially. He is brilliant. This wasn't really about how wonderful he is, though. If it was, this would be a pointless post. And then, so yeah, I mean, I think I already said my piece. Comments say, this is why you don't agree to marry someone after knowing them long distance for such a short amount of time. Cut your losses, because the amount of work you need to fix this relationship isn't worth a 6-month relationship. All the issues going on proves that it was a stupid idea for you two to have agreed to get married. I wouldn't say that. I mean, they're living with each other beforehand and they're not married yet, right? I don't think that they're married yet. I think that they're just engaged. And you need to learn. You need to learn about somebody. So they agreed to get married because they loved each other. I got engaged before I lived with Caleb. I had spent, you know, a significant amount of time with him beforehand, but we lived together for a full year before we did, and I had like no troubles in between that. So everybody's situation is different. I don't agree with that necessarily. Like, you don't know until you know. Another comment says, did you notice that he asked you to marry him and got you to move in with him before he showed you his true colors? Yeah, that's the bad part. I don't like that. It's only been 6 months and this guy is one hell of a fixer-upper. I mean, you can hire that maid service of his to come in on a regular basis and have a separate bed to him so you can get a good night's sleep. But what are you going to do about his table manners, his lack of hygiene, his health concerns, and his farting? You feel lied to because in a way you were lied to. He has aspects of himself, then got you to commit to marriage before he revealed them. On the other hand, most people don't show their true selves after 6 months and remain on their best behavior until that point, which is sometimes the case. Luckily, we have an update, so let's read it. This morning, when Brad was getting up, missing the morning at work yet again because he was too lazy to be up and out by 8 a.m., he could tell there was something wrong. I, of course, was upset and told him we needed to talk. Ooh, I hate that sentence. I basically told him everything. He actually forced me to tell him every tiny little thing he does that I didn't like, which was pretty horrible for me, but I think really eye-opening for him. Okay, maybe we're gonna grow. Maybe we're gonna grow and learn. He actually had a doctor's appointment late in the day yesterday, and I told him about the smell. He then failed to say anything to the doctor, which was really upsetting. Okay, so we're not growing. We are shrinking, in fact. In the end, I told him we needed to split up. I told him I felt we moved too fast and we needed to learn a lot more about each other. I told him I was leaving. He fought me on this, saying that we could work on these things together. I told him I couldn't stay, that I needed to work on myself while he worked on himself. He cried a lot, and I cried as well. It was very difficult because he really is a good person beyond the issues he has. So in 9 hours, I'll be heading back to where I moved from. I'm not really sure where we stand, but we aren't engaged anymore. So that's my update. Talked, broke up, moving out, lesson learned. Thanks, Reddit. Honestly, I think he handled it well. I don't think there was any other end to this. Yeah, I think he just kind of needs to figure out what his priorities are. I think you deserve to be with somebody that's more upfront and honest and just maybe just more compatible, you know? Yeah, it's just if somebody's not willing to help themselves, then it's really hard to help that person. So I think that's fine. I think that's best, and I hope you find somebody that's more well suited to you, and then you'll be all right. Maybe you could still be friends, you know? No, I think he handled that well, and I think that's all okay. Every relationship moves at its own pace. I mean, technically for me, I knew Caleb longer than 6 months, but like it was like 6 solid months of really dating, and then I was like, I guess I'll move like 3,000 miles. It worked out. Doesn't always work out for people, you know? So no notes. Let me know what you guys think. And if anybody did anybody like date for 4 weeks and they get married and you're still together? I want to hear some romance stories or nightmare stories. I want to hear it all. Let me know in the comments, especially you two guys. Shout out to you and all my queens. All right. And I'll see you in the next one. All right.